Hello, everyone! Look at us! Back-to-back weeks! In the new year. We're killing it, Brandi. And not just because we're under a time crunch.
No. Hey, you know what? I think it just goes to show that if we give ourselves a deadline, we'll meet it.
Yes,
We should have just done this to begin with.
We really should have. We would have been done like a year ago. I like to think that the universe is taking pity on us and is allowing us to do a lot of things.
Maybe. I was just thinking, I was like, man, every single time that I load up like the episode in like season 3 that we need, I'm like, it's been so long. Like, I kind of want to just start over.
Yes. It's like, oh gosh, I should really just binge.
I was like, it's time for a rewatch. And I'm like, no, you're still in the middle of your rewatch.
You should do like a subsection rewatch.
It's just taking you as long as it did for the show to air.
It's so true. Oh gosh, it's so true. Oh man. Well, we have people in the chat already. Louise X Sparrow saying hi. And we got Rapunzel saying, question for all you cold weather people from the Cajun. It's supposed to get to about 18 Fahrenheit or 7.7 below 0 Celsius tonight. Is 3 layers of pajamas enough? I mean, as long as it's not 0, you can sleep naked. Like,
yeah. I think the real question is, what's the wind chill?
What's the wind chill and how many cats do you have?
As a Midwesterner, it'd be fine if not for the wind chill.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was awful today.
I was in Louisville over the weekend.
Oh no.
It was a little bit warmer. And so I had like taken off my jacket and we were just walking around without jackets. I had like on a sweater. And we walked into somewhere and somebody looks at us and goes, y'all are brave for not walking around with a coat. I'm like, we're from the north.
Yeah, we're up north. We tough.
Like, once you walk in like a foot or two of snow to classes for 2 years, nothing really affects you anymore.
True. That lake effect snow really smacks it out of you.
Effect snow. It's different.
Oh, especially if you had to go from the Union over to Muller and you couldn't get through the VUCA and it just... Y'all, long story short, Valpo has horrible sidewalk construction that does not give you the shortest route.
No, it doesn't. Sidewalks go nowhere.
Bless them. Oh, yeah. They've made an oval. That's not a straight lines, y'all. Straight lines. Rapunzel says we could always do a live watch along. We could. I'd have to check how streaming would work, but we might. And you have 2 cats. There's no wind inside your house. Hopefully it stays that way. We can watch the cats scratch open a window or something, bust the glass, because apparently that just happens. Windshield just cracked right open this morning.
I saw your post earlier, and I was like, "Oof, she really going through it." What is it with you and your car?
I don't know. I should not be allowed to drive anymore. I just need a train. Or just take Appa. Appa would be a heck of a lifesaver at this point.
But to answer your question, Rapunzel, yeah, I think 3 layers is good.
3 should be good.
Yeah.
If you start sweating, that's when you start stripping.
Exactly.
You don't want to be waking up bicycle.
You can,
Layers. Well, oh gosh, speaking of layers, we're about like halfway through the onion that is book 3, right?
I think we're more than halfway because...
Is it... Oh, they only have 16 episodes? Zuko was only with them for 4?
No, like the final's 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And then the Boiling Rock is 2 episodes. So I guess like episode count, yeah, we're probably about halfway, but it just seems like we'll be watching the final next week. Like that's what it feels like.
Yes. Honestly, because we're almost to that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this feels like the beginning of the end of book 3. Like it just...
Yeah, like this is the beginning of like boots on the ground.
Yeah, it's getting real.
Like once you get through the first half of season 3, the later it's all just one thing in my brain. It feels like.
Yeah. Yes, I've binge watched, like I feel on on Nickelodeon, they kept showing the end of book 3 more than anything else. So I
Yeah.
feel like I've binge watched all of it in succession multiple times. But it works, especially given that we get some pretty banger episodes. And oh my gosh, this one. It's so cool. Part of me remembered that it was upside down, but I forgot how awesome it is.
It's a really cool temple.
And the fact that they had Toph being like, "We're here."
Yeah.
Like,
Toph, I think your feet need their eyes checked.
yes. It's glorious. I just realized I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh,
Didn't
that's
do
okay.
the episode summary.
Oh.
I just had to tell you how cool architecture is.
Wow. Architecture.
This just sets the stage.
It really does.
But yes, so for this episode, the Western Air Temple, almost lost my page there. You get the summary from Paramount Plus. That is, when our gang, didn't spell it gang with 2 A's, just gang, regroups at the Western Air Temple, they find someone there they weren't expecting. I'm taking away points because they didn't spell it with 2 A's.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's right there. It's the lowest of hanging fruits.
It's okay. It's not terrible.
It's middle of the road-ish. Like, it's a disappointment compared to what they had been doing.
Okay, yeah.
Bit of a step back. But Brandi,
Yeah.
what do you have?
I have, after being defeated, the gain with 2 A's.
There it is!
Must now decide how they will end the 100-year war and if they can trust an old enemy.
I like that. You had an air of mystery. You had depth. You had brandiness. It's brilliant.
Is brandiness the same as like spirit? Woo.
Woo. I want to have like a little animated ghost Brandy just woo. Sprinkle the magic on. But yes, Brandy wins again, hands down. Chat, do you agree? Because it does matter. Now onto the architecture. How did they do this?
They're airbenders. I don't know.
They had to have teamed up with the Earthbenders, right?
I guess maybe.
Like, wind erosion takes a long time. So, also Marcus Aurelius is absolutely right. Brandy always wins. Very true. Oh gosh. Now, question for you, Brandy, because this actually came up while I was watching this. Did they just like float around upside down and like live upside down, or was it just built like that and they just lived on the ceilings?
I think it was just built like that.
Okay.
And they just
That's
like
what I was thinking.
I don't think they float around upside down.
I mean, as fun as that could be.
Yeah.
And yes, Rapunzel, Brandy is the GOAT episode describer. 100%. Unbeaten. Absolutely. And
I don't know. I feel like last week I came pretty close because they were so similar.
But yours had like a little boost.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to take that shame to my grave.
It was an overtime field goal win, but it still was a win. And Rapunzel agrees the ceiling is the floor. Cats are loving dogs. Everything's upside down. Oh, it's such a great way to set a stage. And it does have that, I guess, what's the word? Holy cow. Symbolic meaning, because Zuko's world is turned upside down. And so
Okay.
I'm pulling at strings here, but I feel like that one actually catches a little bit.
Maybe. There are like some temples like built into the side of mountains.
Yes, in my research I saw that there were some with the Asian architecture and everything built in. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So, and of course you get like these awesome carved statues and just details. There was one airbender who was like, I have an idea, I'm gonna do it, and did it.
Well, isn't that Avatar Yin Chen?
Is it Yang Chen?
I think.
It has to be Yang Chen. Not just anyone gets a statue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't remember which temple she's from. Because there's a giant
Ask our good friend
Yin
Google.
statue in the Eastern Air Temple, which is where Aang met the guru. So maybe these are just nuns. Maybe it's not Yen Chen.
She is from the Western Air Temple. She was so
Then it has
respected
to be.
as the avatar.
Has to be Yen Chen.
Yeah, because she says she was so respected as an avatar that 2 statues were made of her, one in the Eastern Temple and one in the Western Temple.
There we go.
So where the ladies are at. No, okay, so yeah, no, this is the nuns' temple, and the men and the women live separate, right?
Yeah, so the nuns live
Yeah.
in the Eastern and the Western, and then the monks live in the North and South.
So I'm willing to bet there was a person who was kind of like my craziness mixed with your intelligence who was like, I can make this work, guys. Just give me a couple of months and some earthbenders, maybe a couple chisels. We'll get this done. And Rapunzel says, bazinga with the metaphorical symbology. There we go. I love it. I also love the way that they gave us the flashbacks in this. Because, like, the gang, you know, Aang's doing his own thing and, you know, kind of trying to run away from responsibilities and such. But Zuko's finally facing his life, like, up to that point. And it just, character growth before our eyes.
Well,
What do you think about
and it's also like,
part?
man, I miss Zuko and Iroh together, man. Like, I know that they're not 100% like, you know, on like, you know, seeing eye to eye right now, but
Literally.
I know, right? I realized that after I said it, and I was like, ooh. Yeah, but I miss Iroh.
I don't know why. That just reminded me of the time I went up to an Anakin cosplayer and it was like 103 degrees outside. I'm like, wow, you must be burning alive in there. Yes, no, I miss Iroh. As much as I appreciate how accurate like the voice actor portrayal is, I miss Mako.
Yeah, I do too.
He had that grandfatherly undertone that really just But it feels like at this point, Zuko's doing better mentally / emotionally than Aang, I'd venture. And
Yeah,
it
I
had
think
like just Aang is so yeah, what Rapunzel says, Aang is just ignoring his problems and pretending they don't exist. # bigger light. And Zuko's accepted them.
Yeah, I think Zuko is like, okay, like he finally feels like he's on the right path. And so and now Aang is kind of like we're just gonna go symbolic again. Up in the air.
Yes. Oh boy, look at us doing some nice critical thinking on a Monday night.
Well, yeah, I know, right? But I think this is also what was great for Aang about the Day of Black Sun was that firebending wasn't going to be an issue. And so he was like, okay, I don't necessarily have to learn firebending. And I wonder if everything had gone according to plan, if Aang ever would have gotten around to learning firebending. Because it is like this thing that he just doesn't want to do because he regrets hurting Katara. And, you know, he's just seen how firebending, you know, is used not in like great ways. And so I think that that's why he's trying to just like deflect a bit. And, you know, I think he realizes what has to be done because they're still on the time crunch. The comet is coming. He needs to master firebending in order to face the Fire Lord now. And so he just needs a couple of minutes just to go run off with the D crew. They're not even the C or B. They're the D crew. Because in this episode, what do? They just keep finding different reasons to leave.
Yeah, I'm
They're
gonna go
not
check out
here.
this room. Let
They
me do
could have
this.
stayed behind.
Yeah. It is true. I feel like this bit, they're just like, "Oh, crap, we're stuck with the kids." Like, "Well, I guess we gotta do something with them." Yeah, thinking back to the would Aang have learned firebending, what if everything had gone according to plan and they had made it to the Fire Lord's chamber, they would have run into Zuko and
Mhm,
seen that he was confronting his father.
mhm.
So, I feel like they still probably would have teamed up, and Zuko probably would have been like, "Come on, you gotta be a fully realized avatar. There's more nutcases out there in the world," and, like, taught him,
Well, like,
maybe?
would they, one, like, trust Zuko, or would they just throw him in a prison as well? There's no
True.
there's no, like,
I'm leaning more towards they'd hear him out, but also I mean,
we'll
after
never know.
the war's over. Oh, yes, Rapunzel. I love how respectful Greg Baldwin is towards Mako and Iroh.
Yes.
That's how you pick up after another person's left a role and not willingly. Uh yeah. I wish we would have gotten more Iroh in this episode, but we get what we get. So I'm content with it. I also just I appreciate these three goofballs before we get all caught up in the rest of the story and everything. I love their dynamic. I like to think that after everything, they just do their own thing together.
They're really processing, like, leaving someone behind really well by just I guess maybe they're doing the same thing Aang is doing, but they're just like, "Yo, let's just go explore."
Mhm.
Or, find a dark corner by themselves to cry so they don't have to look who's to say?
Oh, no, Brandy! I mean, it's true, but
Well,
no!
even the Duke was like, "I miss Pipsqueak."
Yes! Well, because it's like, Pipsqueak is kinda like well, we don't know enough really to say he's a father figure, but,
Yeah.
like, you
I
have
get brother
Haru's
vibes.
dad. Yeah, big brother vibes,
Yeah.
and then you have Haru who lost his dad, and then you have
Teo.
damn, yeah, his dad, I was just like, Mechanist child? Child version Mechanist? Mm? But yeah, he lost his dad is gone now too, so it's like bonding through trauma,
I
yay!
guess. I guess in, like, the sense, like, the Duke is like, "Oh, Pipsqueak will be fine," and Haru's like, "Well, it's not a situation that he doesn't already understand," because even he said something like, "It feels like my dad just got out of prison," you know? And
Yeah,
Teo's probably like, "My dad will escape from that
yeah.
prison."
See, okay, I know we have to have talked about it before. I don't know if it was you or my coworkers who talked about this. Might have been both. But how if we were ever kidnapped, my brother and I have a plan to just defecate.
Yes, I do know that
Yes.
plan.
Yeah. I feel like the Mechanist would use the same method. He would just make it so unpleasant for the Fire Nation. Oh, brilliant.
It's either that or the Mechanist does something where he's like, I fixed, like, this lock because it wasn't efficient enough, and, like, he would just who knows?
He would have found a way. For sure. And yes, Rapunzel, you're absolutely right. Dante finally found another Lost Boys group to go with. He got Zuko and Rufio. It's beautiful. Oh gosh, where was I gonna go with that thread? There was a thread, but I lost it. No! Son of a gun, son of a gun. What was I thinking? Nope,
I don't
it's
know.
gone. It's gone. It's dead. It died. It's dead. How about this one? Zuko's so adorable in this
And this
episode.
is flipped.
It is?
Yeah, the frog's on the other side of the frame. And
Well, IMDb lied to me.
nice Zuko costume, but your scar's on the wrong side.
Yeah. And now we see how that is like completely possible. Oh
I think
gosh.
it's also stretched too.
Oh, it probably is. It was hard to
Anyways,
get screen
sorry.
grabs from this one.
No, it's okay. I was just like, I think this is flipped.
Just
Um,
something isn't right here.
I
Mm.
love this scene where he's just
Mhm.
talking to this frog.
I love how he does the or the Iroh and the Azula impressions. Like, those are the 2 influences in his life.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting. Like, the Iroh makes sense for him to be like, okay, well, what would Iroh say? And then for him to like take a beat and be like, well, what would Azula do? I think that like shows a little bit like even though Azula and Zuko weren't together for a very long time, I feel like they kind of like, you know, like their sibling relationship improved a bit.
Mhm.
And so he's like, yeah, like, you know, Azula's crazy, but you know,
Well, and he's probably like, "Okay, Azula has at least 2 friends, which is 2 more than me.
yeah.
So maybe she's doing something right." Oh, he's so adorable. Like, I wish we would have been able to see more of this side of Zuko
Mhm.
through the seasons. Like, it had to happen the way that it happened, but gosh, give us a season 4. I wanna see him being a good boy. Ooh, Rapunzel brings up a point here. Azula is very successful in her attempts at things. He's thinking she could achieve this goal. Yeah. As someone who often overanalyzes and wonders how other people would have handled situations, yes, 100%. Also, a thread. Does that imply there was some kind of planned order? That's not what the stream is about. No, it's kind of like when you're at the beach and a child drops the end of a kite and you see the string flying past your face and you're like, "Oh, I could do something with that." That was about the thread that I had.
Okay.
The other thing, what kind of frog is this? What kind of hybrid?
I meant to look that up, and I did it.
I don't think it is a hybrid
No, it's like
per
it's got
se.
like fur, doesn't it?
It's got like, there's a good one. Oh, it's wearing leggings. It looks like it's wearing thermal underwear. Oh, I mean, maybe it's like a salamander toad?
It's a badger frog.
Badger frog.
Yeah. Is a furry hopping animal that is indigenous to the Western Fire Nation. It's a badger frog. That makes
Oh,
sense. He's
I
kind of
guess I could
fuzzy.
see it. Yeah, he's got
I
little
looked back into the window and I was not expecting to see this frog.
I have a few screenshots. Some of them are gold. This dude is living his best life trolling Zuko.
Yeah.
You know, you get Aang who has Appa and Momo, and I feel like he could just add another friend to the group.
You know,
Why
Zuko
not?
needs an animal companion, and I think it's this badger frog.
Yeah, I think so too. That's way too happy to be a badger. True. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but
That's
a
adorable.
badger, I think, would in this instance get immense joy from someone else's struggle, and this frog has been front row seat to Zuko's struggle this entire time. Like this, I like to think that this frog also watched Zuko put up that tent tarp thing,
Yeah.
and that probably took a while. So
He's just sitting there looking at it, sitting on a rock, just like
this frog has seen enough misery to make it happy the rest of its natural life.
I love that so much. It, that's now one of my favorite parts of the episode. Thank you guys. It was a one-off note, but man, I love it now. And you know, he does eventually get up the courage. It's not the greatest speech.
Hey, Zuko here.
Iconic.
Iconic.
Oh, what do you think? Why do you think it's lasted so long in the fandom? Because there's so many good lines. But Zuko gets the 2
I
big
think
ones.
it's iconic because when you like introduce yourself or you know, not like they know who he is. Like if you go up to your friends, or not even your friends, but like your classmates, like for a group project, you've never really you just kind of know each other's name. If you just walked up and you were felt so awkward that you're like, I gotta say something. Oh, what do I know? I know my name. Hi, Brandi here. Like, nobody introduces themselves in that way. So it's just like this awkward, like he doesn't know how to friend. That's the problem. He doesn't
Yes.
know how to friend.
Exactly.
So like, what do normal people do?
What do the peasants do? What do
Yeah.
they do?
Yeah.
See,
Man, it's
I
horrible.
I would not be able to relate because I refused to do group projects in school because I always felt like I was being screwed over and made to do all the work. So I just did them all by my own, like the little introverted extrovert that I am. Right. No, but I do love how awkward he is and how we're finally getting to see him not as like a prince, but as just a teenager. Like
Yeah.
and we get to see him reunite with Appa, which I forgot about this whole licking thing. Like,
Yeah. Even Appa's like, this guy's okay.
oh, he's like, yes, good boy. Yeah, oh, good boy. if
I also
if
I
my
also like
cats like you, I will like you.
I also like the speech because it's like he had all these points that he wanted to say, and then they just kind of get like jumbled up. And then
Yes,
he's just like, I set your bison free, and I could have just taken him, and
exactly.
he's just like
It's like
this.
you runaway freight train, which is relatable. I had that today. Louisa X Sparrow says, I've seen people introduce themselves like that on YouTube. I can't help wondering if they're copying Zuko. Zuko made it cool to do that.
He was a trendsetter.
Oh, always. You've seen his fashion. He absolutely dominates. Oh boy. But yeah, we get the lovely confrontation scene where Zuko's just hi. Like, is there a universe where this goes down well? I don't think there is.
No, I don't think there is.
There's actually there's one shot. Please tell me that I got it. Oh, it might have been the uncompatible format. There it is. Yeah. I love the little detail in this where Aang, Katara, Sokka, they're all just staring down Zuko, and Toph's just slightly to the side. Just a little
Well,
bit.
I think that we could go back down the symbolic route here because it's like
Yes!
these three have been chased the entire time. They've fought Zuko, like they know in more detail the terrible things that he's done, whereas Toph is kind of in the middle because of the conversation that she's had with Iroh, and she really likes Iroh, like she had that bonding moment,
Mhm,
and so she gets to kind of hear about Zuko's character from Iroh's perspective. And I think even the rest of the gang respects Iroh enough that if they got to sit down and have that kind of same conversation, that might be the universe where this turns out differently.
oh, yeah.
And so
Yeah, if
like have
Iroh
her
hadn't busted himself out, and Zuko
yeah.
brought him with.
And so to like have her kind of like be in this middle, I kind of don't wonder like if one of them probably Katara were the first to like attack or something like that, Toph might actually stop it at this moment and be like, "Hey, let's
Yeah.
just hear him out." Because I think Toph, kind of like true to her character, like she's willing to wait and listen.
Mhm. And in this stance, she has her ear to him, like, she is open to listening, whereas they're
Mhm.
front on. Ooh, symbology.
Wow, look at us go.
I am using my brain cells for the week, and I'm okay with that. Uh, Usually there's an allowance per day, but boy, it's just gonna happen today. Uh, but yes, we all get to see how the conversations go. And it doesn't go well for Zuko. Doesn't go well at all. I tried to find a picture where he was just getting water slapped by Katara, but No one has that yet. Uh, but yeah, the for Toph to be as open to listening as she is, I feel like my train of thought ran away from me.
Goes the thread.
Uh there was a thread. I'm the one who lost the kite this time. Uh No, okay. So when Zuko goes and Toph decides to go after him, kind of like, okay, listen, they aren't hearing me out. They aren't thinking. Like, clearly, Aang needs a firebending teacher. I love this face. I love both of their faces. You need one. And he's on a silver platter here.
Yeah.
Like, Toph, we usually think of as one of the more emotionally, I guess, stable characters. At least I do, because she's like earthbending. She's very solid. She's either very, like, she's very put together compared to the problems of everyone else, especially like now that Sokka's dad is in prison, like taken away, and he has to deal with the failure of that, and Aang and Katara. So honestly, at this point, I feel like she's the only one who's thinking rationally.
Yeah. And I think Toph, a lot of time, like even when they were talking about Jean, and she was like, "Wait, who's this Jean guy?" And she, if it's important, I'll figure it out. And so, kind of just like that, it is what it is mentality. And like, if it's important, they'll tell me. But also, I think that she can remove like her emotions from the situation a bit and kind of take everything at face value. And so, they're like weeks, maybe a couple of months away from the comet, and you know, she's like, this is coming down to the crunch, so we need to figure out a way to do this, and there is no more time, and so, you know, I like to think
Yeah.
she's just like, you pansy cakes need to put your emotions to the side.
You don't get a choice anymore.
Yeah, like, so
Well, and she tries her best. Like, she tries to go out and convince Zuko, like, hey, you should, like, we should talk. And then Zuko goes and messes it up again.
mhm.
Why am I so bad at being good? Is one of my
Why am I
favorite
so
lines.
bad at being another iconic line?
It's
Um,
so,
I have
so
a question.
relatable.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
I think he probably does, but do you think that Zuko knows that she's blind and or understands enough how she sees? Like, do you think Zuko knows enough about Toph to realize how bad this really is, other than him just burning her?
I don't think he would, actually. That's a good question. Because, yeah, book two, we don't really see him interacting with her hardly at all.
Yeah.
Unless there was maybe intel there that was like spread.
Mhm.
I don't think that. Yeah, no, I think he probably has very little understanding. Maybe like by seeing her eyes when he
Yeah.
first walks up, he's like, Zuko here. He might have realized like something's not quite right.
Yeah, like I think you could probably definitely tell that she's blind. Then to like go the step further and be like, okay, does he understand the way that she uses earthbending to see?
Right. I don't think he probably would until maybe this moment.
Mhm.
Or like he knows probably she can see somehow because she's running away from him.
Yeah.
And so I think he pieces it together. He's a smart dude. He probably gets it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just wondering like
Slowly
if
but
he
surely.
yeah. Definitely. Um
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Marcus Aurelius. I think you're vastly overrating Zuko's social awareness. Yeah. I that's also a very good possibility. But he'll find out eventually. They'll be sitting around the campfire eating rice and stuff and just be like, "So, what's your deal?" Could see how that combo goes down with
we
everyone.
kind of do, because in an I can't remember which episode it is. I think it I think it might be I think it might be the next episode where he like tries to tell that joke.
The tea joke?
Yeah, and he just
Yes!
fails at it.
It's so good to see Zuko, like, just struggling like a normal teenager would.
Well, that and it's like he like his it seems like they were pretty like when he was younger, like he was just kind of like locked up in the palace and really only had Azula and like I'm confused how Azula got friends but he didn't. But you know,
Eh.
neither here nor there. And then, you know, he was banished and so then he just kind of like had his crew to boss around for a lot of time and then it was just, you know, him and his uncle. So he just like he understood those interactions, but now he's just completely out of his element.
Mhm.
And like I think he's being more true to himself and like he's not trying to like pretend like he has it all together and stuff like that. But at the
Mhm.
same time, like, it is it is like it's so relatable and I think that's why it makes it so funny because you're just like, oh man,
Like,
that's what I
dude.
look like.
Yes. Well, when he's like, "I'm sorry I sent that Fire Nation assassin against you," and so I was, "You spend combustion mantras?" He's like, "Well, I mean, that's not his
His
name," but
name, but
it's like, dude, it's not the point.
it's kind of although that does make me wonder, what is Combustion Man's name?
Yes! I need to know canonically if he has a name.
Well, he has to because Zuko's like, "Well, that's not his name," but
Like, did they assign him one just, like, for their notes and things?
oh, okay.
Like, is it there in the story? Hmm? I think he
You know
looks
what?
like a Chad. Marcus
I was
Aurelius thinks it's a Ralph.
I was looking online and I was trying to see if and, a bunch of people were like, "His name's Kevin!"
Kevin! Yes, here's Zuko, Azula, and Kevin.
Kevin.
I'll take it as headcanon. And
Um,
Louise X. Sparrow agrees. That would be me. I'd have to say that. Yeah.
yeah,
Awkwardness
so,
is beautiful. Oh, so then they get Sparky Boom Man. His his stuff was a lot more violent than I remember. I I didn't think they showed it. And then this came up, I'm sitting here on my computer screen, I'm just like, Nick
Oh.
allowed Pat. Like his arm flew up. His head blew up. Like, yo.
Well, yeah, like we see like, you know, the metal arm, but he kind of like who's to say that he blew up? He could have just fallen to his death.
I think he blew up into chunks, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, good. We've moved into the PG-13 Avatar: The Last Airbender. But yes, what did you make of Zuko's stand against Sparky Boom
I think
Man?
he's just trying to do. I mean, yeah, like he obviously doesn't want the Avatar to be hurt or anything like that. But I think he's also just trying to like prove to them that he's just not the same person anymore. And so this is just like a desperate attempt. And then also like this Zuko is someone who's just trying to right his wrongs. And so this is
Mhm,
just a wrong that he's
mhm.
trying to right. And you know, what do you think? What do you think Combustion Man doesn't listen to him?
Oh, see, I like to think that he's the kind of man where once he's assigned a mission, nothing will stop him, and that's why he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like also at this point he might have taken it over for a bit of his own pride. Like, if I kill the Avatar and I bring his carcass to the Fire Lord, I can get whatever I want. And like he's realized there's a self like serving aspect to this mission now that isn't just, oh yeah, the Fire Lord's son's gonna give me some cash. Woo. What do you think?
um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think like it could possibly be like the whole like taking down the Avatar and like you know the glory
Mhm.
that would come with that and like coming back to the Fire Nation and being able to you know tell the Fire Lord like hey you know
Took care of your
Your
kids' dirty
problems,
laundry.
it's dealt with, you know? He's,
He shows up like he's in The Sopranos. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got it. You're good, Tony.
He's, Avatar's gone. He's flying with the lemurs now.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I know that Combustion Man doesn't talk, but I now really want him to just have like this New York mobster
Oh my
voice.
gosh. I almost feel tempted to hire a voice actor just to do that. And an animator. I He's flying with the lemurs now. Oh gosh. This is too good. Oh yeah. Now he's flying too. To a million little pieces. I'm so like I kind of feel like was the right way for them to take him out. Too.
Yeah, like this was, you know, this was a loose thread that needed to be tied.
Yeah, exactly. Tied, and then like you know how sometimes people will take a lighter to the end of that the threads on their
Yeah,
bracelets and then just
yeah.
burn it off. It's like
Yeah,
they steal
that's
that.
not coming
Get it.
undone.
No, he's staying dead. Because otherwise, like he's a Terminator for their universe. He's gonna keep coming after them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, Mr. Miles says you don't need an animator or voice actor. AI can do both things.
Not
I feel like you have to have the
well.
soul of a New Yorker to get that down.
Yeah,
He's got to come through in the voice.
so-
Maybe. I don't know. AI can maybe do a convincing New York accent, but I'll compare it to my brother and ask him, like, does this sound like the people you had to live around for a few years? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, this episode, I think it ends so well, like pacing wise. It felt like it went really well together
Mhm.
from like the start to the finish. It was believable,
Mhm.
at least to me. And like Aang realizing, I think you are meant to be my firebending master. It just pieces come together that needed to, that could have felt so rushed, but they somehow made it work.
Yeah, like this is crunch time.
Yeah. The writer's like, how many episodes were we still left with?
Ooh.
We still got to get a couple of adventures in here.
Yeah. Well, and like I think Zuko even says something like, you know, what just happened?
Oh no. El Gato. Apparently a cat has taken over. Or your camera just quit. Well, in the meantime, oh, there you go. Yay!
Can you hear me?
I can. You're here.
Okay. My display just like turned off.
It didn't want to talk about the end.
No, it did not. But what was I gonna say? Oh, Zuko says something along the lines of like he understands that firebending can hurt and unintentionally, and he needs to be more careful and stuff like that. And like kind of like without even realizing what he's saying, he kind of like addresses all the fears that that Aang has with firebending.
Mhm.
And you know, hurting somebody unintentionally and all this stuff. And so like that little speech was all Aang really needed to be like, okay, yeah, you are meant to be my firebending teacher, because nobody else besides maybe John understands that about firebending.
Yep. Exactly. That's it's very similar in real life too. I found when it comes to mentors in meteorology and specifically storm chasing, is you get a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'll teach you how to storm chase, let's go, woo, but they don't realize, or at least acknowledge nearly enough, the significant loss of life and property and how traumatic storm chasing can be, and especially for the communities that you are literally making a living off of their misery sometimes, depending on the type of content that is put out. And so I see very good parallels between this Zuko's acknowledgement of, hey, it can cause pain, I need to be more careful, and like my own field of, I love tornadoes, but I have to also acknowledge that they could and can and have hurt people.
Mhm.
So this definitely struck a chord. It was cool. Mr. Miles says, ooh, AI can do it very well. You can check out some of the recent AI stuff. I'll just check it out. Also, hey, you want the avatar gone? Forget about it. I love that Marcus Aurelius. The fact that you made that accent pop in just text also.
Forget about it.
it. Mr. Miles, when you get a minute, look up AI Johnny Cash singing Barbie. Sorry, I thought I had a stroke there for a second. AI Johnny Cash singing Barbie Girl. It's uncanny how real it sounds. You really want Iroh to teach Aang firebending. That would have been a fun alternative. If Iroh hadn't bust himself out, and then he would have had Iroh and Zuko as firebending masters.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but I think like if Zuko didn't make the decisions that he made, then I could totally see Iroh stepping in to that role. But I think Iroh was so set in like his destiny didn't lie with the Avatar or even like defeating Ozai. Like his destiny was just about, you know, bossing say like he kind of gets into it at the end of this. But
yeah.
Yeah, like
he has his own journey.
Yeah, Iroh was just like not my time, you know.
Yeah.
So
he's just trusting the spirits with this one.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's going to be okay. I do enjoy the comedy and the angst at the end. Like, this little bit where he's like, oh, welcome aboard. Walks out to Aang. He's like, this is so weird.
So weird.
It's a nice little laugh. And like, you think, oh, great, the episode's ending on a good note. And then all of a sudden, Katara walks into the room and you're just like, whoa. She scares me how protective she is of Aang. And this is why I'm a firm Katara and Aang shipper and not a Zutara shipper, because there's no way she's leaving Aang.
Well, it's like there's no way that I mean she kind of like she does eventually trust Zuko, but in this moment, like she's already kind of seen this side of him. Like she saw this side of him back in Ba Sing Se when they were in like the cave or catacombs or whatever you want to call them. And like Zuko almost had her there. Like she was like, oh yeah, like you aren't just like this monster that, you know, I've made you out to be. And like, you know, your story is complicated and, you know, the choices that you're making are you're having those you're making those choices like for a reason. And so like she trusted it back then, and then he threw that in the garbage. And so I almost kind
of
he
burned that garbage too.
Yeah. And then he burned the ashes.
And then he danced on them.
Yep. And so like in like an alternate universe where that conversation didn't happen, I could almost see Katara being possibly the first one to trust Zuko in this instance, and almost kind of be on the same side with Toph, and be like, yeah, like we do need Aang does need a firebending teacher, and you know, yeah, he's done some not so great things in the past, but you know, maybe we could give him a short little leash. you know? Just you know, he can wear a leash in the house until he's potty trained. Like,
I'm just imagining they actually put one on him and just like, you're not getting out of our sight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fan fiction somewhere. It's a dirty fan fiction, but it's there nonetheless.
Yeah, it is.
No, but you brought up a really good point. Like in the catacombs, this is the same side of his face that we see in the catacombs, his unscarred side. And we've seen this shot of them before in a different scene. And it's a very good establishment of, we've been here before. Let's see how it ends. And my gosh, how differently would it have been if they had made it so that he flipped back? Like, there's nothing that would indicate that he would. And the writers are so good that they know that that would have been a horrible decision. But also, it's like, with the way TV shows are now, I could see that he would flip back evil, and they'd be like, "It's another plot twist," and the viewers would be like, "No!"
Well, I think that he did that back in, like, season 2.
Yeah, yeah. But what if they did it again for
Then
views?
it just would've been cheap. Then we would
Yep.
just yeah.
That's
And
why
then we
the
would've
show was
had to
good.
have a 4th season.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, Mr. Miles says, I think she helps Zuko, a stern reminder that he has had trouble doing the right thing in the past and may have similar problems in the future. Yeah, she's kind of like his, I guess, accountability
Mhm.
person. She's like, not parole officer, but that's the first thing that popped into mind. But she's just like, I'm going to make sure that you stay on this track this time. There's no escaping. Like,
And I think
you
it's
have
really
this book.
interesting that, like, she says something, like, when Zuko's first, like, shows up in the temple and everybody's there, and she's like, you know, "If you come back, then you like, we'll stop you," and just like, she, like, wants to say the threat that she says here, but
Yeah.
she stops herself because the others are around. And the moment that it's
Mhm.
just no one else is around, like, Aang isn't there to be, like, a Tard that's out of line or even, like, Sokka or even Toph, you know? Like, it's just them, and she plainly is like, "I'll make sure that your destiny ends right then and there." And you're like, Whoa."
They towed the line in this episode, didn't they? Straight up dude got himself killed, and then Katara's just like, "I will murder you in your sleep,
Yeah,
Zuko."
yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah.
It's a thing of beauty.
She took a page out of Combustion Man's mobster book.
Oh, yes! I
Yeah.
imagine Toph is, like, somewhere walking the corridors, and, like, she has really good hearing, and she just hears that, and she just goes, "Hmm, nice," and keeps walking, like, I'm rubbing off on her. "Oh, hey, Time Profits in the chat, what's up?" Ah, we got a whole crew in tonight. So good to
Mm,
see you guys. But yeah, I think that covers most of the episode. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
This one's another one. Like season 3, they're very streamlined episodes.
Yeah, like, they're very just like, this is crunch time.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's no there's no room. Well, I mean, I guess we didn't really, like, talk about, Sokka's sick boomerang,
Oh, that was pretty
moment,
great.
but
As a math nerd, and this came out when I was in like school and I was studying trig and everything. I'm just like, how did he calculate that angle? How did that? But that's an ellipse, and that was the right angle. And I'm like, Katie, it's cartoon math.
cartoon math. This is also a universe where, people without bending can jump really high.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I love how he reacts like, "Yeah, boomerang! Oh,
Oh,
boomerang!"
boomerang!
Oh, they find even in the most serious of moments, they find time for humor. And I
Yeah.
hope that the new live action does the same thing. Gosh, I hope that Sokka's funny.
I I don't know. We'll see.
So are we still both at the I'm holding my breath and we'll judge it as soon as it comes out phase?
Yeah, yeah. I
Haven't
was
let the
talking
optimism seep in?
I was talking to somebody about it last week, and they're into the show, but, like, and they also know that I'm super into the show, and so they're always just like, "What do you think about this?" And so we were talking, and they were like, "Are you excited?" And I was like, "Yeah, but not really." We went on, like, this long conversation about everything, and I was like, "But, we got, like, another month. We'll see."
Yeah. So far, like, this is an absolute sidetrack, but the one thing that I really did see that I was like, oh, thank heavens they did it differently, but they did it differently. So it is Aang's arrow because it's not just plain blue, because I feel like that wouldn't translate
Mhm.
as well from cartoon into real life. So they added beautiful, ornate
Yeah.
air structure to it. I'm like, that's how M. Night should have done it. You don't make it stupid.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of, like, this is what M. Night should have done,
Mhm.
and I'm also, like, really afraid that it's also gonna be, like, a lot of, like, this is just they're just doing the same thing that the show did, and
Yeah.
yeah, like
How's it gonna turn out? We'll find out.
yeah, we'll see.
Also, Time Prophet says, I had a boomerang once, but I couldn't throw it away. I still have a boomerang. I threw it and it hit me in the face.
Oof.
So that was 2 months ago, Brandy. I had it back in November. I 2
You
months ago.
you didn't have to fact check yourself like that.
I have such bad reflexes. I need people to know it wasn't a childhood mistake. No, no, no. This was adult Katie. Every reboot gets ruined. DuckTales. DuckTales. Woo. Not.
I was just about to do that, but I stopped myself.
Never stop the woo. But yes, brilliant reboot. And technically the 2005 on Doctor Who was a reboot. So anything David Tennant touches is a good reboot. Let's see. Give them a chance. They will push current day politics into it. Honestly, I mean, they already got genocide covered, so I feel like modern day politics should take a page from Avatar, actually. Live action looks awesome, but you're so afraid that they'll pull Cowboy Bebop. I've not seen Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it the Shyamalan treatment? We do not speak of M. Night Shyamalan. It's better not to get excited and hope for pleasantly surprised. Yes, that's the way I go.
I'm not even hoping for like pleasantly surprised. I'm just hoping for like halfway decent.
Yeah,
Like,
not a disaster.
Yeah, like there's enough to talk about, but
Cast wise, I'm at least excited to see the actors' portrayal of these characters.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah. And Miss Morales says you chase tornadoes, but a boomerang can take you out. Oh dear. I mean, the tornadoes have tried. They've tried at least twice in my life, in my car and in my home, and I'm still kicking. Hello, Deej. How's it going? Sorry about all the snow and the cold. Hope you aren't buried. Yay. And Rapunzel says, I want to give us something to discuss in a good way. If it's the exact same, what's the point? Exactly. Very good discussion topic, Rapunzel. Yeah. I'm gonna keep that up there for anyone who's watching. Yeah, there is no point really. Unless it's like to try to it's like when a candy bar changes its wrapper. It's just to catch people's eye and draw them in more, but then you realize it's just the same candy.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's ways I feel like doing a reboot, especially a live action version of something that was a cartoon, is a very, very narrow strait to cross between, okay, it's acceptable, or the pit of doom that's underneath. It's like, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't that. So they're taking on a challenge, and I'm hoping they're up to it. At least, if nothing else, some of the design elements we've seen are different. Yeah. So we know that there's at least a little bit of variation. Yeah. So we can go on a hunt. It's like a little Easter egg hunt.
I guess. And, I think that there's still hopes that, like, at least the martial arts will be cool. So.
Yes. Oh, it's not flailing with rocks thrown every once in a while anymore. Anything's better than that. No. I saw a meme. I saw a meme where someone had like those earthbenders, and then there was a cartoon guy laying on a psychologist couch, and he goes, M. Night's earthbenders can't hurt you anymore.
They never were able to.
Yeah. It was so funny. Oh, I love it. Yeah, and I'm not sorry, Deej. I'm not sorry. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. I only got 7 inches of snow. In Sioux City, they have, I think it was 19 to 24 inches total, and blizzard conditions, and I'm very jealous. Same candy, but 50% smaller. Yeah, I hope we don't get shrinkflation with this. I mean, although some of the episodes are seeming like they're going to be picked into one, or like packed into one, possibly. Yeah. We'll see. Goodness, the chat is alive tonight. You plan to move to Oklahoma at some point. How much do I really need to be concerned about a tornado demolishing my home? Well, there's one spot that's been hit by 3 EF5s. It's the Oklahoma tornado target. Just don't move there and you'll be fine. One Piece where Cowboy Bebop didn't. good to know. Uh, let's see. And translating it from a book to a visual medium leave a lot of room for interpretation, but from a visual medium to another visual medium,
Exactly.
and we're already starting to see that with the costumes with Grands. It seemed
I
kind of
think even Jets, like Jets was like, copy paste, and that's cool. Like
they
that's
somehow missed the
fine.
wheat though. They missed the little grass
I
thread.
missed the little wheat though. Um, but it's just like they're so clunky.
Yes.
And I think the same thing happened in the Ahsoka series with some of the
Oh,
costumes from like animation to live action. Like they were just so worried about getting it so accurate that they were like, this is not how like you can't always do that, guys. Like
yeah.
we're it's starting to go like back to like the early days of like superhero movies
Mhm.
where they're just like the clunkiest things and you're just like, okay, that's fine, but
Yeah. Put a little bit of work in.
yeah,
Yep. Agreed.
there is
Ooh.
some room for interpretation.
Yes, exactly. Then you can take artistic interpretation and just run with it. 25 inches. That's not bad. 16 below zero. That is bad. Yeah. See, Katie, you should have got a job in the Quad Cities. You would have had snow this year and tornadoes. Yeah, true. Rapunzel animation exists to tell the unrealistic stories that they can't tell in live action. But now we have CGI, and apparently everyone thinks that that's a good substitute. It's not for everything. Gosh, this was a fun sidetrack, but
Well, look at us go.
do we need to get into the theories? Do we have to into this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay,
love it.
let's see here. Okay.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who makes that sound too.
It's it's the noise I make instead of doing the dial-up noise. That's just my brain trying to be like, what are you doing? Thoughts are loading.
Oh,
The first theory is that the reason why Combustion Man didn't stop when Zuko told him to or offered him more money
mm.
is because Azula hired him.
Oh, that's way better than what I was thinking.
Yeah. And so Azula is like, you know, and it could even happen like right after like the conversation that Zuko has earlier in the season where he hires him, and then like even before Combustion Man leaves, like Azula's right there. It's like, okay, because she knows that the Avatar might have survived, which is why she says that Zuko is the one that took the Avatar out so that she wouldn't catch, the humiliation of
Yeah.
not actually, And so I think it makes sense for her to like double back and be like, do what he said, but report to me as well. And jumping ahead in a couple of episodes, Azula comes and attacks him a couple days later.
Yeah.
So who's to say that, Combustion Man's little hawk friend didn't take a note? Because we're still missing that hawk friend.
Yeah. Oh, true. We need him. We
Yep.
need him to avenge him.
Yep.
He becomes the mob boss.
I was reading a couple of theories online, and this one is bonkers. So if you want to read the whole thing, I highly suggest you look it up. You could just Google it by typing in Avatar theory. Combustion Man is Lutin.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this one doesn't have very many.
Oh. See, even the internet's like, this must be silenced. There's no way we can discuss this. Oh yes. No, Lu 10 time prophet. Iroh's son. Um Interesting theory. I Nah, I don't see the family resemblance. Those cheekbones aren't nearly good enough. Uh, although I do see Azula going after behind Zuko and being like, "Oh no, I'm by myself. No one wants to see this." Okay, well, we'll keep it going. I can absolutely see Zuko going to talk to Combustion Man and Azula trailing him because it was right after we go to the Earth Kingdom, or that we come back from the Earth Kingdom. So she probably doesn't trust him wholly, right? At some point, I'd say it's reasonable paranoia to go and follow him and track him down. Hi, Brandy.
When you accidentally unplug your mic and it just wrecks the whole thing.
Oh no! I think that the internet could not handle that Liu
It could
10
not.
theory.
It could not.
Oh gosh. No, but
Anyways.
I was agreeing that with the Azula would definitely be trailing Zuko at that point because they just got back from the Earth Kingdom.
Mhm.
So she would not trust him.
No.
And he doesn't have the cheekbones that Liu 10 has, so
Oh. Well, anyways, the theory is just like it's not like grounded in too much evidence. It was just like somebody just
Oh.
like, this is like kind of like what they were thinking. And so
Huh.
um it was like Luton doesn't actually die in the battle. Bossing say he's actually just taken prisoner and it's just reported to Iroh that he's dead. And then
Oh.
while he's like a prisoner, he either like somehow like Lon Fane gets involved and brainwashes
Okay.
him and stuff like that. And he
I
develops
need to go
combustion
read this.
bending and something about memory loss, and like he eventually like just like gets back to the Fire Nation and just completely
Okay.
doesn't remember where he's from or anything like that. And so he just kind of becomes like this bounty hunter. It was an interesting read.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like Dee's just comment is very accurate. Not sure what's going on here, but I'm still watching while eating my icicle. Deej, no, don't. It's not worth it. Oh, and funny you should ask Mr. Miles because Brandy and I both took our airbending tests. They came out with like an official test, which
Yeah.
didn't feel
The
very
bending
long.
test,
But
not an airbending test.
yeah, the bending test, and I ended up actually getting air. Funny enough,
That makes
but I
sense.
think I have too much spite in this body to be fully air. So I think I'm water. Just a little too spiteful.
Okay.
That's
All
just
right.
me. Yes, there you go. You're building up resistance to all bad things. You do you, Deej. You do you. Bless ya. Brandy, any other theories?
The other theory is it's not so much like related to the episode, but I thought it was so interesting. It's a theory that if Zuko has the potential to become a combustion bender.
Really?
Yeah, so go back to like season 2 like Bitter Work where Iroh's trying to teach him lightning bending, and the one time that he tries to lightning bend, it kind of like
Blows up
blows
in his
up in his face. And so then
Oh.
Iroh was kind of like, okay, like never mind, because then Iroh recognizes that that's
Oh.
the potential to be a combustion bender.
Oh, now
Because like
that
I think even Iroh says something along the lines of um like like lightning is like such a pure form of firebending that you have to be like really like in control of yourself, and it's such like this direct form, whereas like combustion bending, like yes, it is like a concentrated form, but it's a little bit more chaotic. And so what if in order to become a combustion bender you don't have like that complete control of yourself, but you're a little bit more unstable,
okay.
and Zuko
Yeah.
is, and
He's
so the theory,
unstable.
yeah, so the theory was that Iroh just recognized that and like, realized that like Zuko realizing that he is a combustion bender wouldn't have been a great thing, so he kind of like puts a stop to it a bit. but like the potential is there. And I thought that was such an
Oh.
interesting theory. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
and
blew my
tying
mind.
it specifically back to that exact moment, like, there is proof he can kaboom.
Yeah.
So, oh, I need to look more into that. Yeah, that's and you know what? Rapunzel brings up a good point too. If there was a time travel episode, Zuko could be Sparky Sparky Boom Bam, or an alternate universe, where all of a sudden the Avatar AU opens up and chaos. Oh, I like that theory.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I
Yeah.
had never even thought about that either. So bravo.
Yeah, wow. Like, woof. Like, way to
I've
go,
never heard
random person on the internet.
I've never heard that theory either. So
Yeah.
getting fresh theories however many years afterwards, like I love this fandom and all the work you do in finding these theories. Oh gosh. Well, are those blah,
That's it.
are those
That's
all the
it.
theories?
That's all we
Okay,
got.
then I get to show something cool that I found. Uh,
Woohoo!
there's not as much fan art for the air temple. It's mostly just people redrawing that same establishing shot as before. But I did find this one really beautiful one that appears to be in colored pencil, which holy cow, the shading with a colored pencil, I can't fathom. But it's Zuko
Wow.
and Iroh, and I just love how Iroh's like, "Oh, look at this beauty," and Zuko's like, "Let's get out of here."
Just get out of here.
This is every family vacation with children under the age of 18. It's just, I love any content I can get of Zuko and Iroh that's extra is incredible. But that fan art, that's typical fan art. This is a fan sculpture. Yes! I love
What?
this
Look at
so
it.
much. And
Are you
this
seeing
isn't even like the only one.
Ooh.
People have made a ton of recreations. This is the best one, in my opinion. But wow!
Have you seen like I don't know if it's actually real or not, but there's like different like proposed Lego sets going on around, and a lot of them are Avatar.
Oh,
Yeah.
that goes.
They have like Appa, they have like the White Lotus with Juan's teapot, and
Oh,
there's like a diorama of like Azula and Zuko's duel. They're pretty
oh, now
cool.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got my windows pulled up. Find where is my window? There it is. Okay, got a little lost in the internet there. But yeah. Oh, those are so cute. The Cabbage Man.
These are that one's different than the one that I was
What?
seeing, but yeah.
Oh,
And then
wow.
they did have Lego sets. They had like a few back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I want to see like, yeah.
Yeah.
I want someone to. Oh my gosh.
Ah, look at it. Look at it.
Amazing. Oh, humans! If only we focused our energy on this, the world would be such an amazing place. Animated a GIF.
Look at him animating it.
Wow. Yeah. No, we need more of this. Okay, this is how I'm gonna spend the rest of my night. Oh my gosh, they have the throne room. They have the rhinos. The Kyoshi warrior. Okay, I need to stop because this is what we're gonna spend the rest of the night on. Uh, oh, let's see. Everything is better in Lego. 100% agree. And these they are sculptures. They're just a different medium. It's like the butter sculpture at the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah.
Still counts.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stickle bricks are worse than Lego bricks. What are stickle bricks?
I have no
Are
idea.
they like the Duplo dubs or something?
Duplo is Lego, only for little kids.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking like the Mega Blocks. Those are the cheaper
Sure.
ones, I think.
I
I don't know.
know.
Okay, before then let's see. Leela Doctor Who video. Haven't watched it yet. I need to. Sorry, Deej. Oh, Duplo is not a stickle brick. Interesting.
Stickle brick sounds like an insult. Like that's
Stickle bricks. Oh, I know what those are. Okay. I know what they are. They're these little the ones with the nubs that kids love to chew on.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a weird cross between a Lego and a Tinker toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only worse.
Over here, Nonprofit's just over there, just now crying in a corner. He loves this. I do love the texture of Legos. It's so smooth and satisfying. You revoked my Doctor Who card. I've been in a winter storm, Deej. I haven't had much time. I will tonight for you. Stickle bricks are better at throwing at prayers.
I don't know. Aren't they kind of light? Well,
No,
I
it
guess
depends
they
if
are
it's
better.
black.
If they are lighter, then they are better for throwing, yes. But if you want to cause damage,
Yeah. You can make a boomerang out of them and just amazing. You guys have been fantastic in the chat all night. We got Time Prophet. We have DJ Odyssey. Well, Deej Odyssey. My bad. The exhaustion setting in. We have Rapunzel. We have Louise X Sparrow. We have Mr. Miles. We have Marcus Aurelius. Holy cow, do I have everyone? I think I've talked about most everyone. And if I haven't, apologies. We've had a lot of people watching too throughout the night. So thank you to the lurkers. Love all y'all. And that should be it for this episode.
well,
Next we get to dance.
well,
Let's
look at us go.
go.
Look at us
That's
go.
I actually watched that episode so many times because I tried to learn that dance. So this will be a fun one.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and one final note from Time Prophet: they can take out eyes and everything.
Well, I just gotta throw a couple of those in my bag when I go out then.
Yeah. Someone tries to jump you pull out some stickle bricks. Forget the pepper spray. We're going full on. I could see it. All right, Brandy. Well, in the meantime, I guess between this week and next week's stream, if we're on for that, we'll go buy some stickle bricks.
Let's go.
Perfect. Well, hope you guys all have a great night, and we will see you next time. Bye.